Hi, it's Neil Sean here on Your Entertainment News. We talk all things Spamalot with the legend, the wonderful, the fabulous Mr. Les Dennis. Remember though, Les?
Yeah, if you miss it, you're going to miss out.
Don't miss Les today on Your Entertainment News.
Don't miss out.
I've seen you in many different things.
Yeah.
What was the reasoning behind that? Why did you suddenly think, I want to change directions?
I think, when I was at school with a group of people who all went on to do very well in the drama and film world. Clive Barker, the horror writer, and Doug Bradley, who played Pinhead in all his movies, Jude Kelly, who now runs the South Bank. We were all at school together and we all kind of did school plays and then went on to do stuff at the Everyman in Liverpool as a company. So I think even though I'd started down the working men's clubs and comedy route, I always, intended to act again. And when I got Family Fortunes, I was able to afford to be able to go off and do a rep play somewhere at a kind of regional theatre, and then I got offered Me and My Girl, and that was just a joy to do because I'd seen Robert Lindsay. I'd sat in the audience watching him tap dance on a table and remembered thinking, wow, I'd love to do that one day. So every night that I did it and would tap dance with Louise English on that table, I kind of could see myself almost in the audience and remembered the thrill of getting a dream come true.
I remember going, I don't want to make you feel a little old here, Les, but I remember going to see you. And the funny thing was, I was in Blackpool a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
And in the North Pier bar, they've got posters up.
Right.
And it's funny because I remember seeing some of the shows. My dad used to work up there. And you were up there and it was like an all-star laughter show. And I think there was you and Dustin G, Vince Hill, a few others maybe. What's your memories of times like that? Because there were lovely, warm shows, weren't they? You don't get them now.
Again, I had gone along as a kid to see Freddie Starr appear at the North Pier. Had seen Tommy Steele at the ABC Theatre. Had seen all the shows and the people that I loved. So then, when I got into summer season at the North Pier with Russ Abbott, I was a rookie comic right on the bottom of the bill. In 1979, that was a great thrill. So then when Dustin and I got to top the bill in 1985, again, that was just fantastic to do because, we did a season there. On the opening night, Dustin had a heart attack in the middle of the show, but decided that he wanted to carry on to the end of the show that night. Then an ambulance took him away and he wasn't in the show for 4 weeks while he recovered. And then came back, and then we had a record-breaking season. So mixed emotions because it was a time of worry about Dustin because he had poor health at that time.
That must have been terrifying for you though. Sorry to interrupt, but in the middle of the show, because you're young, aren't you? Do you carry on?
He didn't even know. He just said, I feel a bit of a pain when he came into the dressing room. Doctor came and said, you've had a mild heart attack. We're taking you away now. And he said, no, you're not. I'm finishing this show. And it was an amazing we had an amazing success, and he worked amazingly in that second half. But he was, he'd waited a long time for his success, and he wasn't going to let anything get in its way. So,
showbiz.
Showbiz, yeah, absolutely.
Certain generations know you from extras. What did you think when that came to you and they said, we've got this part, we want you to do this? What did you kind of think?
I thought it was a gift. I remember, I had no qualms at all. I was a big fan of Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant, loved The Office. And when they asked to meet me, I couldn't believe that they wanted to meet me, and they said, we've written an episode around you. It was the first series, so again, people didn't know what to expect from it. And people warned me and said, oh, watch it, they might be taking the mickey, and if you read the script, it's a bit, it's kind of quite cruel. But Ricky said straight up, he said, you're playing a twisted, demented version of yourself. And I was a big fan of, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry Sanders Show, those kind of shows where people went on and lampooned themselves. So I had no qualms about it. And having just come out of the Big Brother house where the phone stopped ringing because it wasn't my finest hour, suddenly I got this gift from Ricky Gervais, and it has proved to be a time of reinvention for me, because since then I've got more serious and interesting drama work. I've, done more work with Ricky and Stephen with Life's Too Short. And I'm about to be reunited with Warwick Davis from Life's Too Short again in Spamalot. So for me it was a great gift, and people say, Ricky says that people say to him that it's their favourite episode. When you consider that you've got Kate Winslet and Samuel L. Jackson, Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro, it's quite flattering to know that people love that episode particularly.
You touched on reality shows, Big Brother, but I was just saying to Bonnie that when, in my day, you appeared in Opportunity Knocks, and that was like the biggest show.
Yeah.
And yet it's hard to imagine now when you talk to people, because we interviewed Bobby Crush a while ago, and we were sort of saying about how you wrote in.
Yeah.
When you say this to the boys, they go, "You what?"
It was a postal vote. It was a postal vote. And in fact, it was the fact that when people were applying to go on the show, there had been a postal strike. And so they took telephone calls, and I called up to see if I could get out an opportunity. And I got my audition and went on that at the age of 17. Didn't win. Came joint third with a dog. No, I didn't. but
Were you nervous though when you say? I mean,
gosh!
But you're very young, and Louis Green is like Simon Cowell of the day, isn't he?
Yeah, he was absolutely, and it was a massive show to do. And I was 17 when I went on that, and I remember I met Royston Mayo recently at the audience with Les Dawson, and Royston was the producer on that show. It was lovely to meet up with him again. He was director actually. Len Martin was producer, and I just remember how nervous I was in the afternoon, and I remember Royston Mayo said, "Oh, we got a nervous one. I love a nervous one," and I went on that show. It wasn't, I didn't win it or anything. In fact, I got a booking cancelled. Somebody called my agent and said, "Nah, we saw him on the telly. We're going to cancel that show we got with him." So it didn't do me the greatest of good, but I went on then to do New Faces, and I came out of that better, and then I started a telly career.
When you went into your TV career, because you had this primetime Saturday night laughter show, there must have been pressure on that to keep coming up with new stuff. You know what I mean? Thinking of it all the time.
Yeah, once I got into series television, like the Russ Abbott show, we had the kind of luxury of having a team of writers. We had the luxury of Barry Cryer and Neil Shand writing for us and being script editors. And then when Dustin and I got our own series, again we had Barry and Neil, and it was flattering and lovely, and you didn't always have to come up with the material yourselves. You would have the ideas and you would contribute, and then you'd have great writers. I mean, Bob Monkhouse used to write for us, and I didn't even know he did, because he told me later. He said, I used to write as Gascoigne Abbey, and I went, "Oh, that's you." And then he said, "Yeah," and he said, "Work it out." And a Gascoigne was a Bob, and an Abbey is a Monkhouse. So that was his pseudonym for writing for other comics, which I was just so flattered that, Bob had wanted to write for me.
Is there like a dream role you still want to do, Les? Is there one that you think... Well,
there are dream roles. Immediately, as I am still in Spamalot, I will be in my second reality TV show, which is Celebrity MasterChef, which at least is different to sitting on a sofa in Big Brother. At least you learn some skills, and I had a great time and loved it. So that's...
but isn't that nerve? Because I've watched you in it.
It's a massively nerve-wracking thing to do, because it's out of your comfort zone. I was a home cook, and suddenly you're being asked to do, to go into restaurants and, do service to people who are paying to eat your food, albeit the chef's food that you're preparing. And then, but it was exhilarating at the end of the day. When you did okay, it was exhilarating. But as for things in the future, I'd love to do some Shakespeare. That's my one thing that still has eluded me. I'd love to do a Shakespeare, one of the Fools, maybe the Fool in King Lear, or Feste in Twelfth Night, or something like that.
What is it about actors that like Shakespeare? Because I'm always fascinated. You see, great admiration for anybody who's an actor, because I can't remember anything. Right. I can't remember where we're supposed to be, whatever. So when I watch you, as an actor remembering things, people say, "Oh no, it goes in." But Shakespeare's a very hard text, isn't it? it's not in our modern language. That's
no, it's not in our modern language, but it's such a beautiful language that when you look at it, and when Shakespeare is done well, it is so immediate to an audience. Sometimes you do see productions and think, I don't know what's going on, but when I remember going to see a production by Michael Bogdanov of The Taming of the Shrew with Jonathan Pryce and Ian Cholson and Zoe Wanamaker, an amazing production that was set in modern day on a Petruchio on a 500cc motorbike. So that has gone into my kind of psyche as something that was fantastic and thrilling theatre. So I'd love to do something that was in that genre. But I also did a one-man play last year that we're hoping to do something with again. That was fun. It was about a comedian.
Was that in Edinburgh?
We went to Edinburgh, and then we went to the Bristol Tobacco Factory, and then we took it to Liverpool, which was its rightful home, because it was about a Liverpool comedian called Jackie Hamilton. And it was a guy sat in a dressing room ruminating about the career he never had. It was kind of, I think we nicknamed it Death of a Showman. No, death of a showman, as in rather than death of a salesman. It was that kind of, this guy who could have had a career, but he didn't because he was the Neely man. So that was great to do, and I'd love to revive that. But more drama for me. I'm going to be appearing in Midsummer Murders on TV at Christmas, so that was great to do as well.
Can you tell me what you play in Midsummer Murders?
I can tell you what I play. I can't tell you how many breaks I get to, how many commercial breaks I get through.
Is that what you checklist when you get the script? You think,
you go,
break one, break
two. Part one and part two. I play this guy, Brendan Pierce, who runs the tourism office in Britain's most haunted village.
Oh, is that
Morton Shallow.
I love it. It must be great being in a show like that because you get really good casts around you as well.
Oh yeah. I was working with Elizabeth Berrington as my wife, and so it was just on those shows they get the best of British theatre. So for me, it was like, I've arrived as an actor. I'm being taken seriously.
Do you still get people doing that noise to you when you go out for family photos, or have you escaped that now?
No, I think I still get it. I wonder if Vernon gets it as much as I do. I get it all the time. It's like game show Tourette's. People can't help but do it, and they feel that they're the first ones ever to do it, and it's like, great, never heard that before. Bruce Forsyth gets nice to see you nice. I get But it's, it's fine because it means that, that show was important to people. They remember me from it. It's better. It's the thing that not Noel Coward, that Oscar Wilde said, there's nothing worse than people talking about you than not talking about you. So that's fine.
I thought you were fabulous on that show because you would always look, to me, when they got it wrong, you could read your face. You could just think, this is so simple.
When they came up with a stupid answer, name a bird with a long neck, Naomi Campbell, all it took was a look down the camera. It just, I didn't need to come up with a line. It was just, or the catchphrase of, if it's up there, I'll give you the money myself. That was worth it.
Les, you're great. It's really been a thrill to meet you, honestly.
And you.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Pleasure.